On today's episode of Watch JR Go, the BMW i8 is a terrible EV, and we've got some things to fix. What is going on, guys? I am Watch JR Go, and today, like I said, I am back in the garage with my 2014 BMW i8 I bought from Rich Rebuilds. And I'm not here to say that I don't love the BMW i8. I'm here to say it's a terrible EV. So it's back in the garage where it belongs, and that means I can charge it. Just like my Chevy Volt that I love daily driving. That's a wonderful EV, by the way. I've got my J1772 here in the garage, and the i8 is plugged in and on daily duty now. So I take it out all the time, and I want to drive it around the city in EV mode, and I want to make sure the engine never starts. And you're asking, well, why would you want to do something stupid like that? Why would you want to drive a car where the engine never starts? Well, it's super simple. When you have a plug-in hybrid, I want the car to be one thing or the other thing, or in very specific circumstances, be the both. I either want an EV, or I want something that I'm gonna go do long haul stuff with, or I wanna start a trip where the car is charged and then the battery dies and then the engine takes over. Very simple. I want it to be an EV, or I want it to be a hybrid. I don't want it to be an EV that has to start its engine for a couple of minutes. So I run a lot of errands that are very close. O'Reilly's, like 1 mile from the house. Most of the food I eat, 1 mile from the house. And what I need the car to do is just simply be an EV to go run those errands and make sure the engine doesn't start. And it doesn't ever start the engine, but it has terrible driving dynamics when it is being an EV. That's something that I didn't realize the first time I drove one of these for a day. And now that I've had it and I've lived with it for a bit, I have learned that it's always in traction control, and not because it has too much power, because it has no grip. They are Blizzaks, not gonna blame the car for that. But if you're driving through any transition where the car is not level, the chassis actually is pretty stiff, it always ends up picking up wheels and going into traction control and basically being a huge pain to drive. If you hit a bump, traction control. If you're going out of a driveway because you're running errands, traction control. And it basically just drives terribly unless the engine's on and the thing is all-wheel drive. And I have not enjoyed that one bit. So now we've established that when I have to run short errands, the car's not great for that. It's fine because it doesn't start the engine, accomplishing my goal and only costing me pennies to drive wherever I want. We're talking like 5 cents because it only costs, what, 75 cents to charge this car or something like that. That 75 cents though only gets you 17 miles. So if you have to run longer errands, say you're driving into the city or something like that, and you need to go somewhere, well, it's always dead. So you can pretty much get to where you're going on battery and then it starts. I'm okay with that as long as it makes sure the engine runs for about 15 minutes. That's all I'm asking. If you're gonna start an engine, the car has to run until it's completely up to temp. I want the water up to temp. I want the oil up to temp. I want to make sure there's no moisture left in the exhaust. If one of my cars starts, it needs to run until it's completely up to temp. Not just coolant temperature, I want the whole thing there. So that's just one of the reasons that it's kind of upsetting that it likes to start its engine. If you're gonna start the engine, please don't run it for 1 minute, run it for 20 minutes. With that said, I still love the car to death, especially when it's running and it's in sport mode. It's an absolute blast. You can hoon around. Obviously, it's running, what, 3.8 seconds, 0 to 60s. And that is incredible. That is well into supercar territory. So if you're launching it stoplight to stoplight, it's an absolute blast. It's just really, it doesn't know what it is. And that's kind of my biggest problem with it. Be an EV, you know, that Mercedes EQS never had a problem with how it drove in general. It wasn't just in traction all the time. And most EVs aren't. Most EVs are always rocket ships and always hooked up. And for some reason, this one is a little confused about what it wants to be. A really, really, really good Grand Touring car. A pretty fun car whenever it's running, you know, keeps a smile on your face. But a couple things are broke. So let's jump in and fix those things. First off, my doors. The doors are starting to droop, and they're starting to droop so much that it's hard to get in the car. So originally, when I picked this up from Rich, I was like, oh, the door struts are bad. He's like, no, they're not that bad. And they weren't. But as the temperature changed and it's gotten warmer, it seems like it's gotten worse really, really quickly. So today, door struts. They're coming for us. They caught me driving home in the i8. I hear the sirens. Anyway, the i8 has a big problem. And that problem is every time you get in, you have to like go like this because the door falls down that far. It falls down almost a foot. So the door strut is completely gone on this thing. And I need it fixed because it makes it really hard to get in. Sometimes it sits this low, especially when it's cold. So Look at that, it's so bad. I got a brand new one from FCP Euro, and you guys might be surprised. This is the part number here, 51227465481. So like I said, I bought this on FCP Euro. It's genuine. I didn't want to buy a knockoff, obviously. I need the doors to actually work on this thing. It's a little more important than a hood strut. A hood strut, you can solve that with like a stick, but your door, hard to solve on the side of the road. I mean, you can do it, but it just looks weird. Anyway, we're gonna open this thing up. It was only $72, which is mind-blowing for how big this thing is. I was expecting it to be just insanely expensive. So, all you have to do to take this off is pop this little collar off right here, and it looks like you might be able to do it without even getting a tool out. Like, this is pretty simple to do. I think it's even lined up the right way, so that's pretty cool. Ooh, it even has a top indicator. Get this collar off. Oh, look at that. You really can do it with no tools. I hope the door doesn't fall on my head. And
I'm about to find out how heavy this door is.
yeah, you are. Okay, you ready?
Sure.
We're gonna do this pretty quick. Here, I'll also. Let me come down here. Oh, how did you? Do you have to pull this pin? No way. Maybe you do. Maybe you do have to actually slide this pin out. Okay. Yep, you sure do. It's not heavy though, is it?
No, you can use both your hands. Oh, okay, cool.
Look at that. Okay, so here goes the top. I didn't know if this could be real time or not. Ooh, I think you have to, all right, you got it?
Yep. Oh yeah, that's not bad at all.
Okay. Well, I guess carbon fiber doors do have a bonus. Come on. How does it go on?
Hit it with your purse.
I got all my weight in it.
Oh, that's not saying much, dude.
Wow. What is going on here?
Rubber mallet?
Yeah, I might have to actually tap it on. Let me try to get the bottom on here. I bet you're not supposed to do it like this, but let's try it. There.
Hey.
There's one. Okay, come down. Hey! Okay.
I helped.
It may be really hard to put these clips on now. If I turn this here, put one clip down, okay.
Yeah.
There's one. All right.
That's not too bad.
A little more difficult than I expected it to be, but we got it done there. And the other one's hole must be right here. Boom.
Nice.
Look at that. Okay, new door strut.
We have fixed the car.
Let's see if this works. Obviously, be careful closing it the first time. You don't want to have the wrong strut and find out by the door being jacked open. Okay, okay. I think it went all the way. That's not bad at all. I can deal with that. It's so much better. All right. One i8 problem fixed. I've never seen the charging screen before, and it's incredibly cool. When the range is full, it's gonna say it's like 17 miles. That's pretty bad. But I guess it is supposed to be a hybrid. Now, on to our next problem. The cigarette lighter has never worked, or the accessory plug in the center console. So we get to start with the fun. I wish I would have had it the whole time I've had this car, but it's never worked. So let's get in here with the meter and figure out what's going on. All right, we've got our meter here, and we have our accessory plug right here in the center console. Let's figure out what is going on with this. Is there power there? Is it possible my adapter is just bad? I don't know. Also, before anyone says anything, yes, the car is completely covered with glitter. I let some kids take it to prom. One kid. I'll never let anyone else. Don't ask me. I don't want to see any emails. It was a one-time thing. The car is on. It wants me to disconnect the charging cable, which I'm not going to do that. And let's get our positive right there in the center. Pick up our negative, and look at that. It's completely dead. Kind of weird though. It actually goes negative. Good thing I've got a high precision meter and it shows that it barely goes negative. It must be resistance. So I just went hunting for the fuses, and instead of finding the fuse panel, which it's actually down here, I'm pretty sure I just need to grab a Torx driver, but there's another 12 volt outlet under here and it looks like it's dead too. So maybe they're both on one circuit. Either way, it looks like they're both testing dead on the meter, so we gotta figure this out. I wish I would have known about that one because that's the perfect place to plug in your radar detector. That's about 1,000,000 times better than having to run a cable into the center console. All right, we've just about got this tray out of here that covers up everything that's important. It looks like there's a T20 on each side, and then if I can get my arm under here, there's a big twist fastener right here. Got it. And now we should just pull down. Oh, there's more. It's connected to everything. Why is it like this? All right, I can see the fuse box. That's enough. As long as I can figure out what fuse it is and ohm it out, we're good to go. We're about to figure this out. Hard to beat an EV though. The ignition's on, so the air conditioning's on. Yeah. All right, I pulled out fuse 65. It is obviously destroyed. It is the correct amperage. It's a 20. So I assume somebody dropped something in this one because you clearly can't drop anything in that one. So maybe this was dead shorted. Time to throw a new one in and find out what happens. It might just pop. I threw a new fuse in it real quick. Honestly, pretty easy to do. I will put the fuse box diagram on screen right now so you guys can see it in case it's ever hard to find in the future. I just Googled it, but in case you need it, it'll be here. And now let's plug in the radar detector and hopefully it works in both sockets. So here's the console. And it just popped, didn't it? Oh, nope, we're good. We have power. I don't know if you guys saw that, but the cord lit up and then turned back off, and I was concerned that it popped. I didn't see a flash when I plugged it in, so I assumed it wasn't dead shorted, but I was a little worried there for a second. Let's plug it in down low. Hey, we are good to go. Just what I needed. Well, there you go. A couple quick fixes there, basically housekeeping stuff. Obviously, we've already done most of the maintenance. I'd like to buy some summer tires for it as well. Maybe that would keep it out of traction a little bit, but the thing is, it's going into traction when it's unsettled. Anytime it's unsettled, it just doesn't know what to do and throws its hands up in the air and chops the throttle, that's the thing I'm upset about. Is you're trying to drive, there's traffic, and when EVs shine in traffic, you know, you should be able to whip out in front of anybody, hit the throttle, watch it explode to life, and this thing's like, like, it makes all those exact sounds. I'm pretty good at the BMW sounds now. Anyway, it's sorted back out for today, and I still love the car a lot. It is super fun, and obviously there's no other car in the world that costs this little and the doors go up on, so it still gets major points. Tons of people have reached out to me to buy this car, and I just don't know if I want to sell it. This is kind of one of the cars I like to keep forever. Anyway, that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.watchjargo.com for cool shirts just like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time. Another cool thing, I'm not sure how well it comes across on camera, is how gigantic the hood vent is for the radiator there. And I have had this open. It's pretty fun to open up. You have to pull out 2 trim panels, and then there's a cable on each side. There's a cable here right in the front of the door and a cable here right in front of the door. And once you pull those, you can open the hood, and it only opens up like a foot or two. And that's how you do all the fluid maintenance, because I got home and checked all the fluids right after that trip. But this is massive, like a Lamborghini STO or something like that. And it's really a good looking car. Just absolutely crazy. The charging port makes all kinds of cool glowing colors. It's off again, but it was green a second ago.